Hey guys, okay, so Orbit here again, and this time with the tank guide for Earth. Loads of you have been asking for it, like literally, like I'm getting tells like every 20 minutes. Can you get this guide out? So here it is. Now, some of the points I'm going to be making don't just apply to Earth. You can kind of use them for other tanking powers, fire or ice. So I mean, it's kind of helpful for tanks in general. But I mean, it's obviously an Earth guide because I'm Earth and all my loadout's going to be Earth. But I mean, skill points and stuff, use that as with your fire tune that you got and your ice tune. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at my gear. Boom. Let's have a look. So first of all, I'm using the Prime Battleground tank brawling. Obviously they don't drop role specific weapons. You've got to actually equip it in that stance to make it whatever, to come up with the stats. So I've equipped this into tank role just pretty much because I hadn't had a tank weapon, because I don't tank that much. I've got some really good tanks in the league now, so I mean I don't need to tank as much as what I used to. But I've got a tank set if I ever need to. So I'm using the brawling. It's really good for kind of knocking them up in the air, and obviously when they're in the air they can't do any damage to you, so it's quite handy. Stuns are pretty good with it as well. But mainly when you're tanking, guys, use a weapon that you are comfortable with. If you're comfortable with a rifle, use a rifle for tanking. Yes, use a rifle. Use any weapon. Doesn't matter what weapon you use. I get loads of questions. What's the best weapon? There's no best weapon. Okay, if there was, then everyone would be using that weapon. There's no best weapon. Use whatever. Okay, I'm using brawling. I can tank just as well with a bow. I used to tank with a bow. Okay, so you get aggro with your powers. That's what you need to make sure you know. Okay, you don't get aggro with your weapon or whatever you're doing with your weapon. You get aggro through your powers, through your loadout. So it doesn't matter what you're doing with your weapon. In fact, most of the time you're going to be blocking anyway. Use whatever weapon. As for my gear, I'm pretty much full tier 4, apart from the back. And I haven't been bothering to mod it really. I mean, I've got loads of other stuff to mod, and DLC 5 is going to hit like today or tomorrow, not too sure. So I mean, that there's actually gear going to be better than tier 4, I hear, dropping in the new DLC. So that's going to cost mods. I'm going to need mods for that. So I mean, the tank set anyway, your main stat is your defense, and you obviously can't up your defense by any mod that you're putting into your gear. So I mean, anything else is a bonus. If you got health in there, you're a little bit extra health. It's just a bonus. Your defense is your main stat that you want for tanking. Okay, so that includes your skill points as well. If you've only got 80 skill points and you can't quite spec down all the tree, make sure you got your defense and toughness ones first. Doesn't matter about your toughness, but they're in the same kind of spot anyway. So make sure you got your defense up as high as you can get it. So that's my gear anyway. As for my neck, pretty much this is in my opinion, it's got to be the best tank neck in the game. It's got a 70 defense on it. It's got 138 health with 10 dominance, 78 item level, and it's also got the tank affinity on it. Grants a small chance to temporarily increase your maximum health when hit by an enemy, and in tank role the increase is greater. So I mean, perfect. You can't ask for anything more with the tank neck. That's it. That's the best you can get. You get them in Promethean boxes. Obviously it's rare to get the tank neck with the tank affinity, so I mean, I'm quite lucky to have that. Much better than kind of a critical chance or anything like that. Then I've got the Central City trinket, and then I've got the 2 tank rings which you get from the Promethean boxes as well, but they've got kind of damage affinity, so I mean that's no good. You kind of want to be looking for health, power, dominance, affinities on them, not might and precision. Okay, let's go to the stats. So as you can see, 3,975. I'm not really good with defense because don't tank too much, but it's got to be good, right? I've got pretty much the best gear on. So I mean, if you're hitting kind of 3,500 ish, you're good with defense. Okay, to tank anything, probably less. Yeah, a lot less. But you want to be trying to get your defense up as high as you can. Health, you want your health up. Dominance, now as you can see, I've got a crazy amount of dominance. Probably you don't need that much, but 938 dominance for me. The reason why I've got dominance is because I just happen to have a dominance plan, and I've got a shitload of blue exhibits like you probably do. So I just fucking chuck dominance on my blue sockets. Like I said, it's just a bonus, If I had health in that socket instead of dominance, doesn't mean I can tank a raid better. It's a bonus. Thinking it like that. All the rest you don't need to worry about. Precision, real low. Might, really low. Okay, let's move on to the skill points. Right, 141 skill points I've got. Guess how many's in might, precision, critical attack damage, critical attack chance? None. What? Yeah, I haven't got any. Okay, let's take a look. So first of all, these are really handy. These three down the bottom of your tree, they kind of, when you're stunned and you need to break out or something, you gain some power back, and obviously you need power to be able to do your moves to get aggro, right? And then obviously 10% stun resistance, 10% encase and root resistance are handy to have as well as a tank. Okay, if you're being thrown around all over the place, you can't do anything. Okay, so they're just handy to have. So obviously brawling, I'm fully spec'd into the weapon, dominance, health, critical healing, no damage. Don't need damage. What do I need damage for? You got 3 DPSs in a raid. They're there to do the damage. You're not. You're not there to do damage, guys. Okay. So critical healing chance. What have I got healing for? Because when you're in there, okay, and you've got full aggro from like everything, you're going to be taking a lot of damage, and the healers are going to be struggling to keep you up in some cases. Any sort of critical healing chance, critical healing magnitude is going to help you out big time, and the healers. I've gone into raids with healers and they comment on it. Wow, I'm getting so much healing off you, and yeah, this is why, because I'm speccing into my healing. Okay, you don't need damage. You're going to be blocking half the time. Okay, don't need damage. Don't worry about that. Bow, boom, boom, boom. So I've got stealth. Obviously, you get critical power chance. Easier from the trollers. Defense and toughness, and again healing. Dual pistols, defense and vit. Why have I got vit? Bet some of you asked that. Why have I got vit? Okay, vit. When you're using your weapon to kind of hit and do damage, when you that very short time that you will be doing damage, you kind of, it's how quickly you can kind of build up power when you're on the dummies and you're or just anyone, and you're hitting them with your combos. You'll kind of notice your power slowly going up. Okay, the more vit, the quicker it goes up. Simple. Dual pistols. Okay, dominance and defense. Hand blasters, healing again, health, dominance. These are the things you want to be speccing into. Defense, stealth, one-handed. Health, heals, vit. Rifle, health, heals, vit. Shield, stealth, resto, and health. Why have I got resto? Resto helps with my supercharge that I've got. Okay, which I'll get back to at the end. Dominance, defense, healing, health, vit, heals. So I mean, you can see kind of what I'm speccing into. Absolutely nothing is in damage. The only kind of damage I'm getting is the kind of these ones where you gotta get down the tree to get to something else. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's it to what I'm specced into. So if I'm 141 skill points and I'm not going into damage, and you're 90 skill points and you are going into damage, you're doing something wrong. Don't do damage. Do not do damage. First thing you want to be getting is your defense and toughness. Then I'd probably go dominance. Then I'd probably go health. And then probably, you know, and then all the rest is kind of bonuses. But I mean, damage is your last one that you want to be going for. Now let's get to the loadout. Defense. Right. Earth and Grip and Epicenter. Why have I got both of them? They're both pulls. Why do you need both? I'll show you in a second why we need both. But first of all, Earth and Grip grabs an enemy with the hand of Earth to stun and drag enemies towards you. Also crushes the enemies. So I mean your Earth DPSs, or I'm not sure if anyone else benefits from crushed enemies, but Earth definitely does. So they're going to be doing more damage. And then Epicenter is kind of like your backdraft of fire, the fire version, the Earth version. Okay, which damage and pulls enemies towards you. Okay, and it works exactly the same as backdraft. So let me show you exactly kind of how that works. So first of all, let's go over here and I'll show you the I'll show you the, I was going to say backdraft, but it's Epicenter. Basically, when they're about in this range, you can drag them right the way in. It works perfectly. And you can do, there could be like 10 enemies around and you'll just cast that and they'll all fly into you, which is exactly what you want. Okay, as a tank you want to be doing that. You want all of the ads that you can see right in front of you. Okay, and like, just think of it, a nice packed package for everyone to, it's a lot easier to heal, it's a lot easier to do damage, it's a lot easier for everyone if the tank has got all the ads in close. Okay, when they're in close, they're not doing damage to anybody else. Okay, if there's a guy wandering over there, he's going to be hitting whoever's over there. Okay, get everything in close. Okay, and to do that you need two moves. You need Epicenter and Earth and Grip. Okay, you need them both. Let me show you why. Okay, so I mean, I'll just show you what Epicenter does. It's really, really good for pulling. Obviously, they don't go in and then run away, but that's obviously the dummies doing that. They're back to their original starting place. So it's going to be tricky to show you exactly what I mean, but you can see what I mean. But it only takes me to be kind of here, and look, it's useless, right? So I mean, you've got to kind of jump in, get what you can, and then it's Earth and Grip time. You've got to get all the rest that are kind of astray with Earth and Grip. Okay, and Earth and Grip's range is unreal. Let me show you Earth and Grip. Okay, so first of all, you want to try and get target. If you hold L1, you get a target on your enemy, and you can actually flick between enemies with the right and the left stick on the joystick, on the the keypad. What's the word I'm thinking of? The fucking the D-pad. Okay, right and left, and you can just flick between enemies. Let my red sort of crossfires like switching between these two enemies right now. So that's really handy when you're doing Earth and Grip, because you want to make sure you've got a lock on the person you want and you drag them right in. So let's show you the range of this. Let's do this one. So I mean, when it disappears, it's just disappeared, so that's out of range. And there's no move anyone can do now to pull him. Nothing. Never in the game can you pull someone when they're out of range like that. But let's just go into range, which is there. See, it just popped up. Now if I use Earth and Grip, boom! Look at that. Absolute huge range with Earth and Grip. It's unreal, and it stuns them and it crushes them. Okay, and like I said in my Earth DPS guide, that the little slinky white slinky animation around him means he's crushed. So I mean, like an Earth DPSs and whoever else are gonna be liking you for that. Yeah, and you've got to use them both in conjunction with each other. It's no good just having Epicenter. It's no good just having Earth and Grip. You need them both. Okay, you need them both, because I mean, you can get one over here. The cooldown's a little bit long. Get one over here, and you need to use them both. Trust me, to get aggro. If there's more than kind of two of them, that you're going to really find that helps. And also, if you kind of jump as you do it, you can actually fling them over your head. Let me see if that works, because I haven't tried this in a while. But I mean, last time I checked, if I jump, then click Earth and Grip, it kind of pulls me to where my body is, which is in the air. So when I go down, it flings him over my head. Let's try that. Yeah, kind of. Okay, let me try that again. Ish. It does work, trust me guys. It does work. I'll try that one more time. Okay, works sometimes anyway. You can try that. That's really handy for Phos 2 Bridge when those guys are walking away. If you jump and use that, you can actually fling them over your head, which is really handy, obviously. But it's not handy when you're trying to get aggro, because you just flung them to the other side of the map. Now you've got to regroup them again. So you kind of use it when appropriate, right? So I mean, you want to be using both. Okay, there's two here. Get your Epicenter in, and look, guy over here, you want to be using that. Get them all into a nice tight package like this. Look, guys. Okay, you want to be using them both to get aggro. You'll get aggro anyway if you're using your powers, but get aggro that way, and that way they're in a nice tight package for your DPSs to hammer. And trust me, if you can do that well, DPSs are going to love you. There's nothing better than seeing a huge crowd mobbed up in front of you and you're a DPS of full power. That's like, you can't wish for anything better. Fireburst into the crowd, you pop your supercharge at that point, wipe everything. It's great. When they're scattered all over the place, you're kind of doing damage over here, and then you got to run over here, and it's a nightmare for DPSs. Also, easier for sorcery. I mean, they can shut their dance floor down underneath all of the enemies, and yeah, it's pretty. Okay, it's good. So I mean, that's what you want to be doing with the first two moves. Okay, and that's your job as a tank, to be doing that, to get everything in close on you, everything, not just one little group in the corner. You want everything you can see on you, and the only way you can do that is with Earth and Grip, because of this amazing range that it's got. You can't do that you can't do that just with Epicenter. It's not going to work. Okay, you'll use Epicenter here, then you got to run over here. And then by that time, the other one's kind of attacking someone else. You need them both. Anyway, that's them. Right, let's move on. Next move we've got is Upheaval. Loads of you are going to ask, why do I use Upheaval and not Jackhammer? Because they do exactly the same thing. Okay. Upheaval I use instead of Jackhammer, because Jackhammer you've got to kind of go further down the tree to get, and as they do exactly the same thing, it makes no sense for you to go for Jackhammer, because they do the same thing, and it leaves you more power points to kind of spec into your traits here, your iconic powers. Okay, so I mean, that's why I do it anyway. If you like Jackhammer, use Jackhammer, but I mean, I use Upheaval. Gives me more freedom of what I can do with these, and yeah, and they do exactly the same. Okay, Jackhammer looks cooler. That's it. If that's what you want to go for it. Then we've got Unstoppable. Okay, use Unstoppable. It provides immunity to up to 3 teammates. It's really good for PvP. I kind of use it for PvE as well. Dazes enemies, so I mean, good for whoever needs dazed enemies, DPSs, and it kind of throws them away I bet you're thinking, why are you trying to pull them in and then trying to throw them away again? Well, I don't use Unstoppable that much. I use it when I need to, and that's pretty much when you're taking like too much damage, like damage you can't handle. Then you want to throw them away. So I'll show you what I mean. Like, you got them in, you're taking loads of damage. You see that? It kind of throws them on their back and gives you a little breather for a second. Healers have that extra couple of seconds to get some more power, get some more heals into you, and then start again, get them back in, and repeat the process. Okay. When you've got your when you've got everything in, okay, you've used your epicenter, you've used your earthen grip to kind of get the stray ones into you. You've got about 5 ads, let's say, around you. First thing that you want to do is pop your shield, which is the gemstone shield. Okay, and you'll see there's 4 little kind of rock pieces that floating around you. That means your shield's on. You'll need to aftershock that as well. Okay, if you don't know how to aftershock, look on my video how to aftershock and it tells you. Okay, but basically on this loadout, Upheaval and Gem Shield can be aftershocked, and pretty much you click the power and then you tap square after. Okay, so do it and you just tap the power and it keeps going for a short period of time, and that works with the gemstone shield as well, and it will do actually a little bit of damage after you've done it for the 4th time. And obviously the more you're aftershocking, the stronger you are. So Upheaval, let's go on to Upheaval for you. Okay, Upheaval launches a wave of destructive energy, causing the dust storm to damage enemies, but in tank role, aftershocks grant additional damage absorption. So I mean, as a tank, you've already got damage. If you didn't know, you've already got damage absorption. Let me show you where it says that. Here, look. If you don't know how to get to this screen, go into your powers and click left right the way across, look, and it kind of tells you what your tank and power does. But as an Earth DPS festival, if you spec down a tree, you get 1% critical attack chance and 35 health. But in tank role, all damage caused is penalised by 20%, while dominance is increased by 100%. Blah 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 blah. You can have a read of that yourself. But I mean, your 20% is basically your damage absorption there. So I mean, Upheaval increases the damage absorption. Yeah, you understand? You with me? Good. Right. And then obviously your shield, it pretty much, once you've aftershocked it to the max, you're not getting any damage in at all for a few seconds, depending on how high your dominance is and how much damage you're taking. If you're taking shitloads of damage, your shield's going to drop pretty quick. If it's not so much, it's going to last a little bit. Okay, and the last thing I've got is Envelop, which is the 35% Earth Supercharge, which basically throws you into the ball. I didn't think about building my supercharger up before this video, which is stupid, so I'll just talk for a second while I'm building that up. Basically, you go into a ball and it protects you from all damage and heals you. Okay, you get kind of a burst heal. I'll show you exactly what I mean in a second. You won't be able to see the healing, but trust me, it heals you. So I mean, if you're spec'd how I'm spec'd right now, that's going to be really beneficial for you. If you're not spec'd into heals, it's kind of a waste of time, really. You might as well have a hard light shield on or something. Nearly there, and I'll be able to show you exactly what it is. The only annoying thing about this is it puts you into like a ball, and literally, like, you could go anywhere. Like, if someone knocks you, like a boss knocks you, you could be pinging around the room all over the place. That's the only downside of it. Apart from that, it's really helpful. I mean, if there's loads of ads around you, you can pop that and the ads kind of pin you in place, so that's fine. But I mean, only use that when like when you ain't got Unstoppable's on cooldown, you know sodas, you've got no other option. Bang, stick yourself in the ball, you'll get heals from it. Okay, here it is. You'll get heals from it, and it's kind of about 3 seconds of 0 damage, and obviously the healers are going to be healing you at that point. That's quite a handy bit of time that you can get, and then obviously it's back to work as soon as you're out of that. Yeah. I think that's pretty much. I mean, there's not much to tanking, guys. Okay, like I said before, your powers give you aggro. I'm not sure exactly how much time you need to be doing it. I think it's roughly 10 seconds. A power keeps you aggro for. So I mean, you just use a power every 7 seconds. That way, you know you've got aggro throughout the whole raid or alert or whatever you're doing. That's it, guys. That is literally it. Like, tanking is not hard. You can easily tank. Anyone can tank. But I mean, lots of people are they just need a guide, and here it is. So I mean, don't worry about damage. First thing, don't worry about damage. Let the DPSs worry about damage. If they're not doing high enough damage, then they need to get a DPS guide. Okay, but you just make sure you're doing your job. Round up the ads for the DPSs to burn. Okay. Second rule, there's nothing worse than a slow tank. If you're always at the back, there's literally nothing worse I can think of apart from people spamming dual invites when you're trying to respec. Okay. So be at the front of the group all the time. All the time, think of yourself as the kind of the leader of the group. If you're in tank role, you want to be leading first through the corridors. You want to be hitting the switches. Okay, if you're waiting for someone else, don't wait for them because they're waiting for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go forwards. There's literally nothing worse than a slow tank. Okay, if there's a tank you've got to constantly wait for, keep moving forwards. When the group's gone, just go. And then you'll get through raids quicker. You'll get through everything. I know when I'm tanking, I'm going, and if you ain't here, then I'm still going. You better keep up, because I'll just keep moving forwards, keep heading forwards. Trust me, you'll be much more what's the word? People are gonna like you better. Trust me. If you're in a group with them, you're a fast tank. You're rounding up the ads quick, staying alive. That's it. That's literally it to tanking. I mean, I don't think I've missed anything with tanking. No, I think that's about it, guys. Okay. If I remember anything else, I'll stick it in the description. But I mean, apart from that, if you want to see me tanking, I'll put a link in the description of a video called Earth Tank in Action, which is me doing exactly what I've just told you, but live in a raid. Okay, and it just shows you there how it works. I mean, anyone can tank. You just got to get your gear, get your defense up high, and that's it. Okay, boom, peace.